Hey everybody, it's me, Remy the Comic Book Poser. I'm here today to welcome you to Enter the Poserverse. It's Tuesday, so you know what that means. We're going to find out what books I'm picking up on this week's new comic book day, Wednesday, May the 4th be with you, Star Wars nerds. So to see what I'm reading and what's in this box, you'll have to check it out after this.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got 5 on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Alright, I figure I could merge a few quick announcements with a small unboxing that I got a package in the mail from America's favorite Mama J. It says it's an A-OK on the front. So, number one, don't forget to comment on today's video where you will get this week's entry into a poser pile. I may try and pick up a couple of extra free comic book day books for you, or maybe even get a signed copy of Twig number 1, since Kyle Strom will be at my LCS on Free Comic Book Day signing things. Announcement number 2, don't forget, we will give that poster pile away on Shop Talk on, where we're going to talk about, I don't know, our favorite books. I think we talked about a topic towards the end of the show last week when we were all sleepy, but we will see. So that will happen. Also, don't forget, if you are interested in picking up our first shirt, our Shop Talk themed T-shirt, I'll try and put a picture up over here. That campaign closes at midnight on Thursday, and you need to use the Bonfire link that you will see. So the note from Mama J says, I know you mentioned wanting this pop, so I wanted to send it to you as a little okay. A-OK, hope you enjoy. Mama J. Oh, and that's cool. It's the Nightcrawler, and if you see here from the side, it's mid him, like, phasing in and out and jumping, so that's awesome. Thank you so much, Mama J, I appreciate it. And I hope you got the A-OK that I snuck in there with all your anime pops. So let's talk books. Alright, you're going to see all of the free comic book day titles that I plan on pulling here on the list that my shop said put it in League, and he'll make sure that he pulls copies for me to make sure I pick up on Saturday. So we start with some Batman. Batman 123, this is part 5 of the Shadow War. I feel like I've been not hating what's happening in Batman, but it hasn't been too memorable, because it says there are too many effing questions. And I think my question is what's happened in the last 4 issues. I'll still read it because it's Batman, but it's not illuminating, it's not game-changing to me. What I do think might be kind of game-changing is Batman Beyond Neo Year number 2. I really enjoyed the first one in terms of looking at the rise of McGinnis's Batman Beyond, the villain that he's playing with, the weird illuminated dude. I'm more intrigued by this story than I am with Batman 1. What will happen in Batman 123. Next is Ben Reilly, Spider-Man number 4. Again, this has been an okay run to me that I've enjoyed. You know, the first 2 issues, number 3 was okay. That I'm enjoying some of the other Spider-themed titles a little bit more than this one, which is sad, but there's a lot of Spider going on, and I think this coming out at the same time as the Beyond arc might have been some bad planning on Marvel's part, since they were taking Ben Reilly in 2 wildly different directions. Next up from Aftershock is Dogs of London. So I'm intrigued by the premise of this book, where it's a throwback to a 60s mafia gangster in London kind of book. I don't know if these were dog people the whole time, or if that becomes a wrinkle of the story, but you know me, I'm prone to check out most Aftershock number 1s. For Follow Me Into the Darkness number 3, I think I've already talked about this book, and issue number 3 got pushed back a couple of weeks. Here you can see a bunch of free comic book day books. basically I'm picking up almost all of them. So you'll see them scroll by, but I'm not going to talk about each of them individually, although the Free Comic Book Day Nottingham is amazing. That's the only one that I've read up to this point. You can see that I'm trying to pick up not just 3 covers to Giant Size X-Men Thunderbird this week, but I'm trying to get the 1 in 10 design variant. Nyla Rose, who wrestled for WWE and is now in AEW, is writing a Thunderbird. I think this is a one-shot. So you've got members of the indigenous community writing about an indigenous X-Men, and he was the first one to die in action. So I want to see how they play with this story in the world of all of like the resurrection protocols and stuff that exist in the world of Krakoan. From Image, we've got Little Monsters number 3. This is the Jeff Lemire, Dustin Nguyen Kid Vampire story. Issue number 2 was interesting. There are a lot of vampire books going on right now, and it's odd for me since I love Dustin Nguyen's art, and I have not read anything from Jeff Lemire that I've not been a big fan of. I'm a little soft on this book, and if you think I'm wrong and you think I should reread it all and at once, let me know in the comments down below. Next up, we've got Marauders number 2 from Marvel. I enjoyed the first one. As we are now dealing with the Marauders, still worrying about their position of collecting mutants, but now they're going into space. I still can't believe the reveal in issue number 1 that Cassandra Nova, who has a terrible past with mutants, was the 8th member of the crew. So I want to see if, she's someone who we can expect the worst from, but has, will surprisingly play along like Sinister, or if she's someone like Sabretooth who's going to get yeeted into a pit. Next up, we've got Metal Society number 1 from Image Comics. I've enjoyed the past couple of things that Zach Kaplan has done, so I was going to pull this anyway, but you have 2 pop culture references in this pull quote that makes me know that this is a book probably for me, where you've got Blade Runner meeting Rocky, that equation = Happy Poser. Next up from Image is Monkey Meat number 5. I still love this series. I don't know how I can keep talking about how I love this wild anthology in a shared universe, but it is the perfect palate cleanse read to me. That I think this is something that I definitely will also pick up and trade, because it's going to be one of those stories that if I'm reading a bunch of heavy stuff from time to time, that Monkey Meat talks about some heavier things from time to time, but in a way that gives me a smile or a chuckle. So I'm excited to go on that one. From DC, we've got Monkey Prince. I thought I dropped this for my pull list, that after issue number 3 I wasn't too happy, but it's here. I'll pay my shop $4 for it. We'll see if it gets any better, and I think it's a 5-issue limited series, which means I'm on the hook to get the last one as well. From Boom Studios, we've got Once and Future 25. We now get to see which king is rising. Everybody's wanting to get the sword, and there's gonna be a big crazy fight. Yes. Next up from Vault is Quest Aside number 1, and I think you've seen my fondly and fast-growing love of all kinds of RPG and tabletop RPG references, that I've gone head over heels into reading all kinds of things, Dungeons and Dragons. I've consumed everything that Critical Role has to put out, and now my new obsession, thanks to Nat, who's Gin and Something, who's Indie Comics and Cannabis Reviews on Instagram. She's got me into Dum Dums and Dragons, which I am flying through that podcast, and you can see how much that I loved it based on one of the videos that I released yesterday of Ranger the Rangers singing Teenage Dirtbag while the Addams Family cast dances the Mamushka, getting 2 kind of good references together. But that brings us quest aside, where, you know, you meet in a tavern kind of beginning, for people walking into a bar. You know that you've got retired adventurers running in this, so I want to see what kind of riffs that it has on that kind of dice and cards fantasy universe. Next up is Radiant Black 14. First, I love this cover. The homage to the Wolverine cover where you can see his face in the claws. And you know I'm terrible at remembering issue numbers there, so somebody will yell at me in the comments, and I'm all about that. I've been enjoying this series more consistently than I've thought. I've enjoyed the expansion of the universe with all of the other titles that have come out, you know, with Radiant Red and Rogue Sun. So I'm liking how everything is kind of playing together, and there's going to be a massive fight against the villains in this one, so it's a question of, do our heroes have enough strength? Next up from Marvel is Spider-Man Exodus 2099, or 20, yeah, there's too many words in that title. Spider-Man 2099 is back. I'm as excited for this as I was when Spider-Punk came out, that I'm hoping that this is on the I love this side of things and not the route of me not liking the Ben Reilly arc so much. Next up, we got Turt's 128. I'm still playing catch up on the series, but I'm excited. Again, we get another attack from the Punk Frogs. I'm enjoying that idea as a villain. That I think I'm just before their introduction. So I think I'm around like 121, 122. So maybe we'll be caught up soon. Like I mentioned at the top, I am super excited for Twig number 1. I think I have my copy. No, I don't. I don't know where I put my copy of the Ash Can that I was able to pick up on Mercari, because like I said, Kyle Strom is going to be at my LCS on Saturday, in addition to a bunch of other hella talented people. Like, I've been buying Baltimore Revis covers to get everything that I need signed. I've even bought, you know, Robins that I didn't read it, but Baltimore's covers are absolute fire. So I like the idea of having, you know, this little weird looking guy in a Dark Crystal meets Labyrinth kind of world, that we're getting a new kind of hero. Part of this, you know, has a Kanto feel to me. Part of this makes me feel that I'm going to love it for some of the other fantasy stories that I love. But putting Scotty Young and Kyle Strom together, I'm going to, you know, be shocked if this book is not very good. And you can see I'm trying to get the A through C covers, and then I'm hoping that I can get the Virgin 1 in 10 done by Kyle. I'm a big my shop owner. And that's it. That feels relatively short this week, but we know it's going to be a large week when it comes to also having all of the free Comic Book Day books to read on Saturday, and we'll see if there's anything else interesting on the new issue pile for me to pick up and check out. But what do you think? Is there anything coming out this week that you think I should try and snag a copy of? If so, let me know in the comments down below. Once again, thank you, Mama J. Don't forget to check us out on Shop Talk, where if you comment on this video, you're eligible to win a poser pile on Thursday, where you're at least going to get a Twig and probably a giant size X-Men number 1. And we'll see what else goes in there. But don't forget to check out Shop Talk. Don't forget to order a shirt if you are interested. And as always, y'all, thanks for stopping by. Have a good one.
Hey, little girl, did you want to know a secret?
I got I want it. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.